What's up guys, Chris Siglansky here with Siglansky Cycle, and today we're going to be looking at one of my personal bikes. This is my 2018 Specialized SWORKS Tarmac SL6 in a Marcel Kittle European paint job. Cool story about this bike. When I was working at Bicycle Generation with my buddy Grant, his Instagram handle is GC Performance. At the time, our Specialized rep came by the shop and said, hey, I have a couple European SL6 frames. Let me know if you guys are interested in any of them. So he showed us what he had. He had this one, which was the Marcel Kittle rim brake SL6. He had a green disc brake version SL6, and then he had a rocket red disc brake SL6. So as soon as I saw this bike, I'm like, dude, I have to get my hands on it. What would it cost? We made some arrangements, and I ended up grabbing the frame. I think there's only a couple of these in a 56 centimeter in the US. I think I saw a 54 a couple years ago, but this frame is super rare, very hard to get. And if you're in Europe, you're definitely able to get your hands on it, but in the US, it was very, very difficult. The frame is gloss. It is a high-vis silver with the Marcel Kittle design in the SWORKS there. It's got kind of like a splatter of blue, red, yellow throughout the decaling, which we saw Marcel Kittle when he was racing. He had the same exact paint job on his Venge Vias, and then a few years later he ended up retiring with his last team, which was Dakuni Quickstep, which is a Specialized team. On this bike build, I have SRAM red 11-speed disc brake option. About a month or two ago, I took a spill. That's why the shifter kind of looks like the hood's missing, because it is, because I had to replace the batteries and I'm waiting for the new hood to arrive. But other than that, this bike is absolutely beautiful. I love the way it looks. I get so many compliments on the group ride. Everyone's like, man, this bike is beautiful. How'd you get it? And I had to tell them the story that I'm telling you guys now. But like I said, we'll start from the top here. It is a SRAM red 11-speed Grupo carbon shifters. Handlebar, I'm running the Specialized AeroFly 2 handlebar. It's a 42 centimeter bar with the shallow drop and a 130 Specialized stem with a negative 12-degree drop. Steer tube I have cut all the way down, so this is slammed, maxed out, kind of like a pro style. I love the way it looks, especially me. I love to sprint, so I love getting over my handlebars when I'm sprinting, and being that it's way lower, I can get way more aggressive in the positioning when I'm ready to sprint. Top cap, I have the Retool blue top cap. They phased out the other ones I was showing you guys, which was that body geometry fit. It was like that star one, and then Retool Specialized new fit program. So I was able to grab a couple of those. Shout out to GC Performance for that. Saddle of the bike, I have the Specialized SWORKS power saddle in a 143 millimeter with the carbon rails and carbon shell. Seat post is the Specialized SWORKS SL6, negative 20-degree offset. For brakes on this bike, these were my absolute favorite brakes that were ever made in a rim brake, direct mount, even regular mount bike, or for your bike. It was the EE CycleWorks by Can Creek. These things are absolutely light. I don't remember what they weigh as a set per grams, but I will get that for you guys and drop it in the comment section, drop it in the description below, and you guys can comment on there and tell me what you think. I know they make so many different variations of these brakes, but being on this SL6 with the 12R carbon, the bike was super light. So they even came out with an ultralight version of this bike, which I've owned that one before, and it came with these brakes from factory, from Specialized front and rear. And you can definitely make some custom ones. I've seen people with red ones, gold, yellow, silver. I want the black ones here, and I absolutely love those brakes. Looking at a wheel set on this bike, I have the Roval CLX 50s with the ceramic hubs and ceramic bearings, with the Specialized Turbo Cotton 700 by 30C. I think I told you guys on the last video I did with the SL6 that for a rim brake bike, it was nearly impossible to get past like a 26. I remember on my Venge, I attempted to put 28s, but it would rub on the back rear triangle where the tire meets that little cutout right there. But on this bike, when they made the spacing wider on the front fork and rear triangle, so you can fit a 30, which I'm running on here, which I love it. You could run a lower tire pressure, and for most people who don't know, but I learned this from my buddy Grant, even though you're running a smaller tire pressure or lower tire pressure on the tire, because it's a wider tire, the tire actually sits taller, so you're not losing any speed and benefit there. If anything, you're making your ride more plush. If you're doing a 50, 60, or even a century or 100-mile ride, it just makes less wear and tear on the body, and it creates a smoother ride over long distance. For the crankset here, I'm running the Digi-Rit, which is a carbon 1x chainring with a 172.5 SWORKS crank arms. These are non-power meter options. You can get a power meter, but on this one I wasn't able to do it because I think the power meter would rub. There's very minimal spacing in between the crank arm and the actual chainring next to the spider, so I just opted for the regular ones, which is fine. And the Tour de France look keel carbon pedals. These are just normal chromoly spindle, non-ceramic, but I love the way they look. They have the Sprinter green on there for Peter Sagan and Marcel Kittel. On the rear derailleur, it is a special SRAM red 11-speed rear derailleur with a ceramic speed OSPW. Cassette is 1125 SRAM red, and the 11-speed SRAM red chain also on the bike. When you're running a 1x setup, it is crucial that you have a narrow ride chain on there, or that you have enough, or that you're using a 1x specific chain ring on the front, because if not, if your chain doesn't have enough tension, you can create a lot of chain slap and the chain can fall off. I've had that happen before. It could be very dangerous if you don't know what you're dealing with and you have no front derailleur to kind of catch your chain. They do make chain guides that you can mount onto this front braze-on right here that I probably should get. K-Edge makes one. A few other brands make them. I do recommend getting that. I'm probably going to put that on this bike because I don't want to have this chain fall off and cut up or scratch up this beautiful frame. I would hate for that to happen. So that's next on the list. For bottle cage, it's just the SWORKS rib cage 2 version, white. And that is the bike right there. Let me know what you guys think about this colorway, about this bike in general. I don't know if I told you guys size, but it is a 56 centimeter European colorway, Marcel Kittle SWORKS SL6. Absolutely beautiful bike. Well, that's it for this one, guys. We'll see you on the next video.